What's up, YouTube? Also, Hawk back here with another video. So, I know I've been busy. I know I haven't been able to make videos like I used to all the time, but life happens. But if you can tell by the thumbnail, the topic I'm already going to talk about is how often should you carry one of these, your firearm? And I like to answer that question with, let me be the question is, how often is God good? Or when is God good? And the answer to that question is always. Always God is good. Amen. So, when should you carry your firearm? And my answer is as much as possible. Now, this video is more so towards the new gun owners out there. I remember when I was a new gun owner, I didn't want to carry at all. I didn't want to carry. I didn't, the only time I really was, use my gun was to go to the gun range and just for home defense, sit on the bed on a nightstand. But as I grew in my gun ownership, as I grew with spending more trigger time and shooting more, and eventually when I became a deputy, it was imperative that I get more comfortable with my firearms. I remember shortly after becoming a gun owner, I started working in armed security. Now, if you know a little bit about me, I'm from the south side of Chicago. So at the time I was working armed security in the south side of Chicago at some very dangerous places. So, most of the time I had to start carrying. Now, with carrying a gun, it wasn't that I was looking for trouble, or it wasn't that I was looking to use it, or none of that bull crap. It was just strictly for self-defense. Now, just because you're from Chicago, you're from a bad neighborhood, does not mean that you're looking for trouble when you're carrying a firearm, or even just in general, good neighborhood or bad neighborhood. But the whole theory behind carrying a gun or carrying a firearm is just add a percentage of you being able to protect yourself and stay alive. But I wanted to put this disclaimer out there to people. Just because you carry a firearm, this does not mean that you're going to live any longer. It does not mean that you're going to have the opportunity or have the advantage to escape death, or win a shootout or whatever. Let me help you all with that. It's just like wearing a seatbelt in a car accident. Does not mean you actually going to live. It's just wearing a seatbelt is one, so you don't get a ticket. Two, the main reason so you don't fly through the window. But if flying through the window was going to save you from that car going off the cliff or whatever, it's not really going to save your life. Okay, it's just going to add or help your, lessen your chances of dying, but you still may die. So just point that out there. So, me personally, as you see, this configuration, it's a Glock 21, okay? It's Glock 21, 45 ACP, full-size gun. I'm a big guy. Look how my hand can almost swallow this pistol. So, what I'm trying to get at is, when you do carry, be meaningful. Do not be one of the people of, I want to carry the smallest thing I can find. I want to carry a LCP, a little crappy pistol. People laugh at me, or some people say, dude, why do you need to carry that big old gun? For the simple fact of, I want to have as much of a chance to save my life as possible is the reason why I carry a bigger gun, a full-size gun. I love carrying full-size pistols. Better sight radius, better distance, further distance the bullet can go, better chance of you actually hitting your target versus carrying a little 2 or 3 inch barrel pistol, etc., etc. Now, when carrying all the time, or you carrying more, you do have to ask yourself a couple questions, okay? A, what kind of gun are you going to carry? What gun are you going to carry? 2, if you do carry, you're going to carry one in the chamber. You're going to carry empty chamber. Like I said, carrying empty chamber and thinking that you're going to have enough time to pull your gun out and rack the slide and put some rounds on target is like I said, once again, driving the car without a seatbelt and thinking that you're going to have a chance or to have the time to put that seatbelt on before you fly through the window. Please do not be one of the people. I get on a lot of people that I know personally that like to carry without one in the chamber. Do not do that. Do not be one of those. And don't think because you carry a certain gun that you're more superior to other people. Like I said, any gun is better than no gun. But like I said, if you're going to carry a gun, carry something that's actually going to be meaningful. So when you pull that gun out the holster, you have the chances of winning that gunfight, and getting yourself home. Okay, so those are key things that you want to take into consideration. Also, you don't want to Gucci your gun out. When you do carry, people love to sit up there and go and add all these things on your gun. This gun is simple. The only things I got added on this gun, and this is not even Gucci, it's just simple. I added some Talon grips for a better grip. I added a Holosun 507C. I added a Streamlight to it, and that's it. This gun is literally simple, okay? I spend more money shooting this gun than I did, for ammo and stuff, than I do for trying to make the gun look cute. The reason why I say that, people, is especially being a law enforcement now, understanding court cases, people, if you get into a shooting and you happen to kill somebody or whatever, you defending yourself, and it's been, somebody lost their life to you being their victim because they were trying to rob you or trying to kill you, and you actually unalived them for whatever reason. God forbid that have to happen to you, because look, that's hard to go through. But let's say that actually do happen to you, which I pray it does not. You don't know, especially if you're in one of the states like, Illinois, California, New York, that don't even want you having a gun in the first place, that Hug a Thug town, Hug a Thug state, you may or may not get that gun back. So if you went and bought a $3,000 Staccato and you got all this stuff to it, you put a Trijicon armor on it, a Surefire X300, and that's like a $5,000 or $6,000 gun. Guess what? You just threw away $5,000 or $6,000 for your gun, and plus another $10,000, $15,000 in lawyer fees. So please, people, if you're gonna carry a gun, like I said, make sure it's simple. Okay, just carry a simple gun. All right. So, get back to the quick question at hand, the conversation at hand. How often should you carry? All the time, people, as much as you can. Okay, I'm not gonna say all the time, but as much as you can. Now, a couple places that you're just not gonna be able to, like I said, you're not gonna be able to go with your gun is one, any zone, any place that says no firearms allowed. Let me tell you something. 3 places I try not to go. Anywhere God is not talked about or not welcome. 2, anywhere my family's not welcome. And 3, anywhere my firearm is not welcome. Those are 3 places I try to stay out of, okay? But look, if I go somewhere and I see a no gun zone, free gun zone, or something like that, I'm leaving, because that means 9 times out of 10 I'm the only one with a gun there. So if some do jump off, I'm going to be inclined to, this is just the person I am, to try to defend everybody, including myself and my family. So I just try to stay out of the gun-free zones, because those gun-free zones, guess what? Criminals see that and they know, okay, they don't want nobody here with a gun. So if somebody is here with a gun, 9 times out of 10, they're going to be in more trouble than I am. So just give you free game. So how often should you carry? As much as possible. Know your local city, state, county. Know your local laws. Know them. Memorize them. Know them. Ignorance of a law is terrible. That is a crime. Just because you didn't know something was law is not going to exempt you from still being prosecuted and charged. Know your local laws. Know your local gun laws. Okay. Know what you can and cannot do. Okay. If it's in your local law that you can't be at a local park with a gun, 9 out of 10, do not go there with the gun, because if you have to defend yourself, like, well, I didn't know that was a law, I shouldn't have been there. Yeah, okay, cool. You're still alive. You saved yourself from being harmed or unalived. But in the same token, now you might be effed because you shouldn't have been there with a gun. So know your local laws. Know where you can and cannot carry. If you're like me, like to go on road trips, know what states honor your state CPL or CCW or concealed carry, whatever they call it in your state. Know what state is a constitution carry. Know what state allows you to carry concealed or open or whatever. Okay, that's another thing. We can in open carry and concealed carry. That's a whole nother video, a whole nother topic for a whole nother day, because people go on and on about whether you should open carry or concealed carry. We'll talk about that in another video. So like, to wrap this video up, carry as much as possible. Carry as much as possible. Know your local laws. Know when you can and cannot carry. Know where you can and cannot carry. The other thing, this is 3, which is probably the most important thing. Always carry in a ready position. If you're carrying a pistol, it should be loaded, locked and loaded, ready to go. It should be around in the chamber. People, stop getting these cute little holsters. Stop trying to look all cute and whatnot. Ladies, stop trying to carry a gun in your purse, especially if you have children. When I was a kid, and if I knew my mom had candy in her purse, I'm going in that purse to get candy. Now, I was raised not to go in a woman's purse, but at them times I went in my mother's purse to get candy. What's stopping the kid to go in there and what's stopping the kid from him or her going in their mother's purse to grab some candy and see a gun and thinking it's a toy and playing with it? So that's another thing. If you're going to carry a gun, keep it free of criminals, kids, and people that do not need to be touching that gun. Who need to be touching your gun and who need to be touching your gun only is a person that when you look in the mirror, they look back at you, yourself. Do not make your gun accessible to, oh, this is my best friend, this is my sister, my brother, this is my homie. No, your gun only need to be accessible to you, because that gun is and it should only be registered to you if that gun is legal, which it should be. I don't condone, illegal activity. If you're carrying that gun, you're the owner of that gun. You should be the only one carrying that gun. You should only want to have access to that gun. Okay? Do not let anybody. Do not say, "Oh, here you my best friend, you my homie. Here, I'll let you borrow the gun for the day." It's not a car. It's not a toy. It's not a weed whacker. It's not no. It's your firearm. So if this person goes and unalive somebody with your firearm, you're both going to jail. Okay? That is highly illegal, and I think almost in every single state in America. Okay? So, to wrap up this video, people, once again, you should carry as much as possible when it's legal, when it's feasible, and get comfortable with it. Like I said, when I first started carrying guns, I wasn't comfortable. I didn't know which holster was appropriate to carry with. I didn't know none of that stuff. Now that I'm a little bit more seasoned with it and I'm more comfortable with it, that's the whole thing. It's not that I didn't know, it's just I wasn't comfortable with it at the time. When I first started carrying, I wasn't even comfortable carrying one in the chamber. Now you can't even pay me not to carry with one in the chamber. So like I said, people, just these little simple tips, okay? God bless. Thanks. Once again, before we finish the video out, I want to say thank you for all the likes, comments, subscribes, shares, all that stuff, all the love that I've been getting. I know I don't post as much, as much as I should, but, life is busy and whatnot. I want to say thank you to everybody that supported me. God bless.